Bien, donc voilà notre troisième session sur le thème de la colonisation belge, qui a pour sujet cette fois-ci le rôle des médias dans la construction de la mémoire coloniale. Alors on le sait, le fait colonial a besoin d'une part de présenter un visage acceptable aux populations des pays colonisateurs, de détourner l'attention sur les crimes commis en créant une sorte de vitrine présentable. On appellerait ça aujourd'hui une image virtuelle, en quelque sorte. Et il faut par ailleurs convaincre, dans la mesure du possible, les peuples colonisés qu'on ne les soumet pas, mais qu'on leur vient en aide. Et dans ce travestissement de la réalité, les médias ont évidemment joué un rôle essentiel pendant et aussi après la colonisation. Et pour introduire ce sujet, je vais donner la parole à Hilary Peace Tumvesi Grace, c'est ça, qui vient du Rwanda, qui est journaliste et secrétaire général de Rwanda Gender Media Connect. Hilary, à toi.
Merci, Monsieur Jean-Michel Blanc. When we talk about the media-shaped colonial memory, we are really talking about who gets to tell the story of the past and whose voices are left out. The media are not just mirrors reflecting history. They are active storytellers. They decide which parts of colonial history are highlighted, which are simplified, and which are erased. For a long time, the story of colonialism was told mainly from the colonialist perspective, portraying empire as progress and colonization as civilization. But this selective storytelling did more than distort history. It shaped how the societies understand identity, race, and power today. If we look at Rwandan story, our own history, colonialism played a central role in rewriting our collective memory. The colonial administration, through its own media and education systems, constructed false narratives of ethnic differences in Rwanda, narratives that dehumanized some and privileged others. You know the story about Hutus and Tutsis. Those colonial myths were later recycled by post-colonial media before and during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, when hate radios and propaganda became tools of extermination. This shows how dangerous colonial memory can become when it is not questioned, when the media become the voice of division instead of truth. And if we look closely, colonial memory is also deeply gendered. The case of Rwanda, of women that was raped during the genocide against the Tutsi, and during colonial times, media portrayed women in colonized societies as helpless. It went up to 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Helpless or submissive, and men as primitive or violent. That framing justified both colonial domination and patriarchy. Today, we live in patriarchy society because of colonialism. We still see traces of this today, when African women are shown mainly as victims of poverty or conflict, and they are used as war weapon. And rarely as agents, they are not described as agents of change or knowledge keepers. In Rwanda, women were not only victims of the genocide against the Tutsi. They were also peace builders after the genocide, survivors and leaders in reconstruction. Yet their stories were often silenced in mainstream narratives. Reclaiming those stories is part of healing both gender and historical wounds. The good news is that new generations of Rwandan journalists, filmmakers, and the digital storytellers are changing this narrative. They are using media to confront colonial legacies, challenge gender inequalities, and rewrite memory from our own perspective, not the colonial perspective. But we need to be not centered to Rwanda. There are also many countries out there that are still facing the consequences of post-colonialism. And what is needed is to come together and dismantle the neocolonialism that we see today, which is still affecting us and the new generation of today. We need new strategies. So, when I say this, I am asking myself, how does the media shape colonial memory? We must also ask all together, whose media, whose memory, whose story is being told? Because the way we remember colonialism and its consequences and the voices we center will always influence the kind of future we imagine and build together. Thank you.